Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira, the CEO and founder of Kismet Ventures. I have a YouTube segment called Munira's Musings. I hope you all can subscribe to it. I also am a John Maxwell certified coach, trainer, mentor, challenger, and influencer. I am on the verge of finding people that instill values in others. And I find these people, then I expose them and promote them in my segment called Munira's Musings. And today my guest is Sean Douglas from, Sean, where are you from?
I'm from North Carolina. Well, I'm from Michigan, but I'm currently living in North Carolina.
Okay. Hi, Sean. Thank you so much for coming and having this interview with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, Sean, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm currently active duty Air Force. I'm serving in the military. I have for 17 years. I joined right after 9/11. And I got 3 years to go. I retired. And I'm also a TEDx speaker. I love speaking all across the country. I have my own online radio show, a mastermind. I've written a couple books, and I'm a father and a husband.
Great. And a son, right?
Yeah. Well, I was actually beamed down from heaven. I don't have any parents.
And a son. So thank you for that. I like the beaming part. Okay, so tell me, so why did you join? So lots of questions, right? So why did you join right after 9/11? What happened there?
Well, I graduated high school with like a 2.0. I was working, graduated high school at 17, which was like May, and then July was my 18th birthday. So graduated 2.0, and I was living with my mom. I wasn't like doing anything. I wasn't doing anything with my life. And I graduated high school, and I went to work at Discount Tire before I graduated, and then got promoted to warehouse manager whenever I graduated high school. And then 9/11 happened. And I really didn't have any passion, purpose, and like I didn't know what I was gonna do in life. Kind of wanted to join the military, kind of wasn't sure. But then 9/11 happened, and I was like, I'm done. This is it. This is what I want to do. This is my confirmation, if you will. I have to join. And so I joined the Air Force, and been doing it ever since.
Okay, so have you traveled abroad?
Oh yeah. I've been to like half of the European countries. I've been to almost every single Middle Eastern country. Yeah, I've been everywhere.
Okay, thank you first for your service.
Thank you.
And then, so what made you? So you are what is active duty? So
so literally, I wear a uniform every day, 24/7. Like I'm in the military. Like that's what I do. Now they have a Guard and Reserve unit where they work 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks out of the year. They're in the military. Other than that, they're a civilian. I'm not a civilian. I like live on the military installation. I go to work every day in the military. That's my job.
Okay. So from there, how did you become an author and a speaker? And what about? So that transition took place.
Right. So in 2009, I became a drill instructor for the Air Force. And I didn't even know that I'd be any good at it. I didn't want to do it. It was kind of pressed upon me, and I'd gone through some adversity, and they're like, man, you gotta tell your testimony, man. Like, you should be a drill instructor. You'd be so good at it. I'm like, I do not want to talk to anybody. Like, I was not really an introvert, but like, it would take some alcohol for me to like come out of my shell, right? I mean, I was kind of quiet a little bit, maybe sometimes, but like for the most part, I don't want to get in front of a room and like be this. I don't want to be the center of attention. You know what I mean? I like cracking jokes and stuff like that and having a good time, but like the center of attention, like I don't like the spotlight stuff, So I became a drill instructor for the basic training, and a passion was unlocked I didn't even know I had. I didn't know that I'd be any good at it, and I was really good. In my first year, you're called a rookie. So a bunch of the rookies get together and they have competition and they figure out who the best rookie is. So I got the basic training in 2009, and then I was the 2010 Rookie Instructor of the Year. I was the best rookie instructor that they had, at that time. So that was super cool and like validation that I know what I'm doing and I'm the best, And so come 2013, 4 years into my, basic training drill instructor career, I'm speaking at high schools, I'm speaking at colleges, local events. I'm helping other people, other instructors with their flights. I'm looking to speak everywhere, and I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. So what do you speak about?
So I speak on resilience, team building, and team building and team performance, really. I speak on leadership, and I speak on business strategies and like podcasts and stuff like that. So, because I've actually built 3 businesses while serving in the military in the past 14 years. I've built 3 businesses.
So are they still working? I mean, they're still
no, I sold the other 2 so I can really focus on speaking, training. I don't really like to write books, but like I know it's a necessary evil, so I just do it. But like, the radio show, speaking across the country, the mastermind, all that stuff that I'm doing now, I sold the other 2 so I could focus on these.
Okay. So you said, because so you got a chance in the military to speak to people, and then you love it. And so how did you come out of the military and go to schools and talk to other people apart from
So I get asked that all the time. Like, where do you find the time? Like, the number 1 rule of success, schedule everything. Everything is scheduled. So somebody will call me and say, hey, we'd like to have you come speak at this school. Hey, we'd like to have you come speak at this event, whatever. I just look at my schedule. I'm like, can I do it? Can I do it? Because I get leave every month. You get in the military, you get 2.5 days of leave every month. So if you save it up, then, you'll have like 30 days of leave at the end of the year. Okay. So but if you don't take leave for like 2 years, then you got 60 days, and you can't have any more than 60 days on the books. So, some guys will have 30, 40 days saved up. I was like, I'm going to take like 5 days of leave. I'll take 2 to 3 days of leave, whatever. And so it's our time. So, like last week I was in South Carolina speaking at an event, and, took 2 days of leave. Before that, I was out, and usually on Saturdays, Fridays and Saturdays is usually when I try to find the events, you know what I mean? Because it's on a weekend. It's not affecting like my work, my mission, stuff like that. So, but my leadership is really understanding, that, hey, I got this other place to speak at. And they're like, that's awesome. So they let me take leave and things like that.
So when you talk to schools, are you talking to what age groups are you talking to?
High schools, freshmen to seniors.
So is this in a way, I'm just going to throw it out there, is this in a way that you're recruiting for the Army?
Nope.
Or no,
Nope.
You're just doing this because you want them to build a team and be focused?
Yeah, I don't recruit for the Air Force at all. That's not what I do. And the Air Force really wants me to detach from them anyway. So my bio will always read a U.S. Air Force veteran. Because if I say, oh, I'm an active duty Air Force, people, they're like, oh, geez, he's going to come recruit us, whatever. So that's why everything is like a veteran. They're like, so you served? I'm like, yep, still serving. And they're like, oh, you said veteran? I'm like, I have to. Like, that's what they want me to say. Like, I have to say I'm a veteran, so I detach myself from them. Because they can't endorse me at all. Like, that's just kind of a rule. Like, they can't endorse me. Say, oh, yeah, this guy's awesome.
No, that I understand that. So what's your strategy so you're looking for speaking engagements on the weekends, but you have a board over there with all these things written, and of course I have to put my glasses on that tells me my age. But what's your strategy in building a business and transforming lives? And can you talk to that about?
Yeah. So everything that I do, every business I've ever built, every decision that I make inside of that business, everything that I do when I start my podcast, everything, I always ask 3 questions. If I can answer these 3 questions, then I know that I'm ready to move on to the next phase. So I always ask 3 questions. First question is, what am I willing to do more of than anybody else? Any other speaker, any other podcaster, any business owner, like, what am I willing to do more of than anybody else? Do I give more value on podcasts, because I've been on like 31 or 32 podcasts this year as a guest. So like, do I give more value? What do I do? And then the second question that I always ask is, what am I willing to do different? So it's not about doing something better. It's about doing something different. Like how do you separate yourself? So right now, what separates me as a speaker is not only am I in the military, but I'm also a TEDx speaker. I've delivered a TEDx talk, which a lot of people have not. So I have those two things that separate me, right? But also as a speaker, what am I going to do differently? Am I going to ask better questions? Am I going to be interactive? Am I going to tell stories? Same thing with my podcast. Do I call it a podcast? Is it a radio show? Like how am I differentiating myself? And then the third question is, how am I going to connect? How will I connect with my customers, my clients, the leads, the audience, the attendees for the events? Like how am I going to connect with them? Do I tell stories? Do I just deliver a bunch of value? Do I talk in bullet format? Like what is it that I'm going to do? And when I answer these three questions, then I can move on.
Wow, that's deep. Took me a moment to register that. But no, that's awesome, because the thing is that when you talk on podcasts, what is the message you are sharing with everybody?
It depends on the podcast, but for the most part, probably like 90% of the time, my message is just to simply live your brand, which means that you find opportunities every day to live out your core values that you hold deep in your heart. It's not about needing a title to be a leader, because you don't need a title to be a leader, but you live by example. You live through your actions. And when you can be your raw, real, truest, genuine, authentic, transparent self, that is how movement is created. And that is how you become an influencer.
Great. Okay. So when you talk to young kids, you're teaching them how to build a team. They're going to leave high school and they're going to go separate ways to college. Yep. How do they take the message that you have and instill it in their life?
Yeah, that's a great question. I just equate it to football teams and baseball teams and, all of that. Like you guys have watched sports teams, they get traded, people retire, and the same thing's going to happen in high school, and so I tell them that. So, because most of the time what I find is that people live in the reality of somebody else's thinking. So, especially high school, like you're trying to stand out, you're trying to, make friends, and you're trying to be accepted because people long to belong. That's what they do. They long to belong. And it's something that I talk a lot about. And I just ask them, like, who's ever been bullied? Like, why do you think that is? If you've ever bullied somebody, why do you think that is? Are you trying to get them down to your level? Are you trying to hold them back from succeeding? I said, you're going to graduate and you're never going to see any of these people again. Like you might have your 2 or 3 or 4 friends, but realistically, you're just not. 90% of the people you're never going to see again. And I tell them, I talk to maybe 2 or 3 people from high school, maybe because we have Facebook, we're connected. But for the most part, I don't really talk to anybody from high school. I just don't. I used to, and over the years, you just don't, And so I just try to get them to realize that if you're holding people in a certain regard, if you're holding what they think about you as leverage or weight, you let it go, because they're not going to be around. They're going to live their own lives. They're going to be, unless you live in like a small town, then nobody leaves, but that's what I always tell them. Like, it matters what you think about yourself more than what anybody else thinks about you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how long have you been doing these talks?
So from 2009 to 2013, I was a drill instructor, hit or miss with the high schools and colleges. It was junior ROTC cadets and, and just different things like that. 2015 really started hitting the professional circuit, speaking at, different local events and networking events and different things. But 2016 really started hitting it hard. 2015, I was getting my feet wet, what works, what doesn't work. Let me enter the professional, circuits, whatever. What do I charge? What do I speak about? All this other stuff. And then, in 2016, I wrote my book and was speaking everywhere. And then 2017 was crushing it, got a TEDx talk. And then, I'm booked 20 to 25 times a year, and I'm active duty military, and I do a show, and I have a family, and I run a mastermind. You know what I mean? So I've got a lot of stuff going on, but I still manage to schedule my own success.
I love that. So maybe I need to learn a few things from you.
Schedule your success, because if you're not scheduling it, guess what? Nobody else is either.
It's true. Everything has to be on the calendar, or it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. If you want to know what somebody values, take a look at their calendar in the last 30 days and see what they spent time on, and then go back 30 days in the bank account and see what they spent money on. Because time and money are two things that people willingly never give up. Whatever you spend money on is what you care about the most. And whatever you spent time on is what you care about the most.
That's great. That's great advice. I thank you so much, Sean, for sharing your wisdom and values with us today.
Absolutely.
For those people who are watching, please share, subscribe, and like this page. I really appreciate you, Sean, and thank you again for your service.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.